Chapter 5. The next day. Skye was curled up in a chair by the hallway next to the ICU where Ryder was admitted. It was around 5 a.m. when she was awakened by several doctors and nurses who were hurrying inside. She stood up, scratching her sleepy eyes, and tried to find out what was going on. Thankfully, a doctor came out and saw Skye, awake and figuring out what was happening. "Oh, what are you doing up so early, Skye?" the nurse asked. "I woke up when I heard a bunch of people coming into the room." "What's going on?" Skye asked. "Oh, yeah, sorry to wake you up." The doctor apologized, but Ryder is having some complications right now. "We're trying to work on it." Another nurse came out while they were talking, giving a new update on Ryder's situation. The nurse didn't seem to have a sad face. "Doc, he's now stable again. Oxygen level and pulse rate are back to normal again." "Well, for now," the nurse reported. "That's good. Hopefully, he stays that way," the doctor replied. Skye sighed in relief upon hearing the good news. The nurse finally left to check on something else. Skye let out another yawn, closing her eyes for a second while yawning. "You can rest now again, dear. Everything's gonna be fine for now," the doctor assured her. "Okay," Skye nodded. "Can I go see him a bit later?" "Sure, you can. After you get some rest, you can go see him," the doctor answered, with a smile. Skye's worry started to decrease, and it finally relaxed her and made her go back to sleep easily. Soon enough, she was sound asleep again on the chair. Several hours later on that same morning, the rest of the pups were still sleeping, except Chase. He was in his pup house all night, but he couldn't sleep. All he could think of was Ryder and the note he read last night. "I just can't believe it. Why would Marshall do that? He wouldn't do such a thing. How am I going to tell the pups about this? But even worse, how am I going to tell Ryder about this? Chase thought to himself. Just then, his stomach started grumbling, which meant that he was hungry. He forgot that nobody was on the lookout to prepare their breakfast. So, he had to call Katie. 2. Rubble, Rocky, and Zuma were snoring soundly in their pup houses when suddenly. "Pups, wake up! Breakfast is ready!" Chase yelled. "Ooh, breakfast! I'm coming, my food!" Rubble shouted. 1. Coming, Zuma added. "Right behind you, guys," Rocky said, letting out another yawn. As they were having their breakfast together, Chase thanked Katie for coming over to help them, even though it was late notice. "Thanks for coming over here, Katie." "Oh, you're welcome, pups. How's Ryder?" Katie asked. "Actually, I haven't asked Skye yet. Should I call her, or maybe later?" "She might be still sleeping," Chase said. Good question, dude. Maybe a bit later?" Zuma replied. "Yeah, I think so too." "Let her sleep, Chase," Rocky agreed. "Okay," Chase nodded. When they all finished breakfast, Chase called the rest of the pups to talk about something important. You'll also like 13 points, book 60 9K Pup napped 1 So, what is it, Chase?" Rocky asked. "Yeah, what is it?" Rubble added. "Wait, are we missing someone, dude?" Zuma questioned. "It's about Marshall," Chase answered. "Yeah, where is he anyway? Still asleep?" Zuma wondered. Chase let out a sad face. "What's wrong, Chase?" Rubble asked, concerned. "Marshall is gone," Chase replied, sadly. He drops the note in front of him. The rest of the pups stared at it to read it, leaving them in shock. The note reads, "Hey, guys. I know how tired you all are from all the accidents that I have caused recently. So I think you're all better off without me. Just please don't go looking for me. I'm sorry. 7. Marshall. Wait, he ran away?" Rubble cried out. "Yeah," Zuma confirmed, looking down with a melancholic look. "This is bad," Rubble said, with tears starting to form in his eyes. "I know. What are we gonna do?" Chase asked. "And even worse. How do we tell Ryder about this?" Rocky added, worriedly. "I don't know." Chase responded, disappointedly, "I don't even know how he'll react if he finds out." 2. We better tell Skye too," Rubble suggested. "Yeah, hopefully even before Ryder wakes up," Zuma said, hurriedly. "You're right, guys. Let's go." Chase agreed. The 4 pups hopped onto their vehicles after asking permission from Katie. They never told Katie either what just happened. They drove their way to the hospital and hurriedly trotted inside, looking for Skye. Skye just woke up from her sleep, feeling hungry as her stomach growled. As she hopped off the chair, the doctor from earlier approached her. "Oh, hi Doc. How's Ryder?" Skye asked. "He's recovering faster now. We moved him to a different room now where you can stay with him for as long as you want," the doctor replied. "Oh, that's great. Can I go see him now?" Skye said. "Hee, sure, you can. Go ahead," the doctor smiled with a chuckle, pointing at where the room was. But before Skye could even enter, she heard a familiar voice calling her name. "Skye!" Chase yelled, startling Skye and making her jump. "Ah. Oh, Chase, you're here. The doctor said that Ryder is recovering faster now. We can all go see him now," Skye said. "Oh, that's good to hear, Skye. Rocky replied. Yeah, good news. By the way, I brought you breakfast, Chase agreed, handing Skye's food bowl full of food. Rubble and Zuma nodded with a smile. Ah, thanks, Chase. Skye smiled as she started nibbling on her food. But there's something you need to know first, Skye. Chase brought up. What is it, Chase? Skye asked, pausing on her food and staring in perplexity. Chase drops a piece of paper on the floor in front of Skye. Chase, what's that? Skye questioned. Read it, he answered. Skye stares at it and reads it silently. Her pink eyes widened and she stared back at Chase. What? I can't believe it. Chase, when and where did you find this? Skye said, starting to tear up. Just last night, I found it inside his pup house, Chase replied. We're going to tell Ryder about this, right? Skye asked. That's the problem, Skye. If Ryder finds out that Marshall ran away, he will definitely do everything to find him, Chase answered. So? What's wrong with that? Rocky asked, staring in confusion. Everyone else, except Chase, was confused as well. You guys don't get it, do you? Chase said, irritatedly. They all nodded at once, which meant a no. My point is, Ryder may risk himself again when he tries to look for Marshall. And I don't want another terrible accident to happen again. You guys don't want that too, right? Yeah, I see what you mean, dude, Zuma agreed. But what do we tell him? It's impossible he's gonna forget that Marshall is not here, Rocky questioned. Chase thought about Rocky's question for a moment. After a minute, he finally came up with an answer. How about we just say that he's dead? Chase suggested. 8. What? Everyone shouted, surprisingly. Wait, so we're gonna lie to him? Rocky concluded. If it's the only way we can hide what the truth is, then, yes, Rocky, Chase confirmed. But what if he finds out? Skye asked. He won't, Skye. As long as we keep it a secret, he won't find out. Also, I'll hide the note, Chase replied. 1. You better hide that. That must be the one big thing that will tell Ryder that we all have lied to him, Rubble said. 1. Okay, don't worry. I'll hide it someplace safe, Chase assured. So, shall we go see Ryder now? Zuma asked. Everyone nodded at Zuma as Skye pointed at the room where Ryder was moved to. Rocky turned the knob with his claw and they all went inside quietly. They saw Ryder, who was still not awake yet. Bandages were wrapped around his head and palms from all the injuries from the accident. Chase starts to let out another tear, while Skye hugs him to comfort him. It's okay, Chase. Ryder's gonna be fine, she said. Guys, now I feel bad that after all that Ryder had gone through, we're just gonna lie to him like this, Rubble whispered, with a frown. Rubble. Not here please, dude. Zuma scolded, whispering as well. All the pups gently hopped onto the bed one by one, sitting there, watching Ryder and waiting for him to wake up. Just then, Ryder's fingers started to move a little bit. Ryder's eyes flickered open as the sudden burst of light flared in his eyes. His head hurt so much from the accident, and he couldn't even figure out at first where he was. But as soon as he focused directly on what or who was in front of him, he began to speak in a soft voice. Pups. Paw Patrol, a runaway pup. Paw Patrol, a runaway pup. Paw Patrol. Chapter 6. The pups gasped all at once, hearing Ryder's soft voice. "Ryder! You're awake," Chase said, with tears. "Skye, go get a nurse," Rocky added. Skye hopped off the bed and went out of the room to find a nurse. "I can't believe I'm saying this, dudes," Zuma whispered. "Ryder, are you okay? How do you feel?" "Just a bit dizzy," Ryder answered, slowly. "I hope he still remembers our names," Rubble whispered. "Ryder, do you remember our names?" "What are our names?" 1. "Whoa, Rubble. Calm down, would ya? We don't want to dash." "Chase. Rocky. Zuma. Rubble. And Skye," Ryder answered, interrupting Chase. "Oh, okay. That's a good sign, then." Chase nodded, surprisingly. Skye comes back inside, followed by a nurse to check on Ryder. After checking up on him for a while, the nurse gave the pups a little smile. "He'll be okay for now, pups," the doctor assured. "I'll leave you all alone here now." "Thanks," Chase replied. A moment of silence happened in the room after the nurse left them. Ryder gazed at each pup and gave a confused look. "You think he'll forget about, you know?" Rocky whispered. "I don't think so," Chase whispered back, with a frown. "Shut up, both of you. He might hear you," Skye shushed them. 2. Ryder interrupted them with a question. "Wait, where's Marshall?" The pups looked at each other, with a mix of nervousness, sadness, and worry. They signaled each other with their facial expressions to tell who should reply. However, they just couldn't understand each other. "Chase, you tell him," Rubble said. "Nah. Skye, how about you tell him?" Chase rejected. "No," Skye nodded, which meant no. "No, I'm not telling him either," Rocky declined as well. "Pups, what's going on?" Ryder asked them. Chase, Rocky, Rubble, and Skye turned to Zuma, who was just sitting there silently. "Ryder. It's not easy for us to tell you this. We know how much this will break you if we do, but..." Zuma started but paused when tears started to fall on his face. "Zuma. What is it? What happened to Marshall?" Ryder asked, listening intently with a worried look. "Ryder." Zuma hesitated for a second, but he finally said what needed to be said. "He's dead." 11. Ryder froze in front of them, without a word coming out of his mouth. "Wait, no. It can't be," Ryder replied, stuttering, as he couldn't believe what he just heard. "I'm sorry, Ryder," Skye said. 1. All the pups stared at him in sadness, and they didn't know what else to say. Ryder tried hard not to cry, but he couldn't hold it any longer. He let it all go, covering his eyes with his hands as tears started to rush down his face. The pups, seeing Ryder crying silently, scooched in closer to him and hugged him. They all started crying as well. 3. You'll also like 13.7K 4 68 9K 11 Marshall 21.4K 4 Pupnap. A rewrite based. After a few minutes of crying together in the room, Zuma asked if he could go outside alone. Ryder allowed him to do so. "Can I be alone outside for a while?" "Sure, Zuma," Ryder replied, as he let Zuma head out of the room. The pups stared at him heading out the door until he shut the door behind him. "Whatever happened to Zuma?" Chase asked. "I'll go check on him," Rocky replied. But he froze after lifting his front paw to jump off the bed when Ryder suddenly stopped him. "Rocky, Zuma wants to be alone for now. Please, just respect that for now. Okay?" Ryder told him. "Yeah. Sorry, Ryder, Rocky apologized, looking down, ashamed. Meanwhile, Jake and Everest have finished cleaning the cabin after all the visitors had left. It took them forever to clean this up since it was just the two of them cleaning everything. Phew. That's the last bit of the mess, Everest said. Yup. Wow, that took forever, Jake answered. That's because it's just the two of us doing all the cleanup, Everest realized. Wait, why didn't we just call the Paw Patrol for help? 1. Yeah. Why didn't we, anyway? Well, it's not much of an emergency, though. That's why, Jake thought. I'll call them, Everest said, as she was about to tap on her pup tag. To help us clean up? No way. We've finished cleaning everything. Now, you're gonna ask help from them to help clean up? Jake questioned, raising his voice. No, Jake. I'm just gonna call them to ask how they're doing, Everest clarified. Besides, I want to stay there a bit longer than last time. Is that your decision, or are you going to ask permission? Jake interrogated, seriously. Huh? Everest raised an eyebrow, looking at him in perplexity. Oh, right. Can I stay there for a few nights, Jake? Jake thought about it for a moment silently. Everest started giving him puppy eyes to allow her. Please? Pretty please. Everest begged. Okay, you can go. Since you helped me clean up the cabin, you can stay with the pups for a few nights, Jake allowed. Yay! Thank you, Jake. You're the best. Everest cheered, jumping and running in circles happily. I'll call Ryder. Later that night, the pups decided to head back to the lookout. But Chase wanted to stay with Ryder. Ryder and the pups agreed with it, so Chase stayed to sleep with Ryder while the rest drove back to the lookout. Good night, Ryder. Good night, Chase, the pups said, as they were heading out the door. Good night, pups, Ryder replied. Good night. Chase added. Skye, who was the last to head out, shut the door behind her. Their sad faces still hadn't left them from earlier. Rocky spoke up, making everyone change their faces. That was some great acting back there, Zuma, Rocky said. Huh? What do you mean, dude? Zuma asked. I mean how you told Ryder about what happened to Marshall, Rocky reminded. That? That was no acting, Rocky. Zuma said, starting to raise his voice. Wait, no. Really? I mean, for real. Rocky confirmed. Rocky, aren't you sad about what just happened to Marshall? Okay, so maybe you're the one acting earlier, huh? And you're the one telling me how good I was acting. I wasn't acting. That was my real feeling. Zuma shouted. Zuma, calm down, please. Skye said, calmly. Yeah, this is a hospital. We're supposed to be quiet in here, Rubble added. No, I was sad too. But the fact of losing Marshall for running away is different from losing Marshall in death. Marshall isn't dead. Guys, haven't you forgotten? Rocky argued. Well, he's missing. You think it's easy to find a missing pup without any clues as to where he may have gone? Zuma argued back. 1. It is. If you keep looking. What do they do when there's a missing pup out there? They put on posters. Right? Rocky reasoned. Oh, great. So, you want to put posters all around Adventure Bay to find Marshall. Now that's a way to show Ryder how much we lied to him. That's what you want to do, right? Zuma replied, angrily. That's enough, you two. Skye yelled at them. Zuma walks out in front of them and heads out to the hospital exit while Rocky just stares at him, full of frustration. Guys, please. Can we not fight about this? We lost Marshall, and we don't want Ryder to lose another one of us, Rubble begged. We didn't lose Marshall, Rubble. He's still out there, and we just have to find him. Rocky corrected, walking away as well. Skye sighed, looking at Rubble, who let out a frown. Looks like we got another problem to fix, Skye said. Author's note. Okay, so thanks for waiting a bit for